Thanks everyone for joining today. So a little bit of housekeeping. If you jump on in, make sure to just keep yourself muted. We've got a lot of beautiful things and really educational stuff that Andrew's going to be presenting today. I'm only here to introduce Andrew. You don't want to hear from me about the health side. You much rather hear from Andrew, who's absolutely, this is his niche. He knows so much about it. And we're really, really privileged to hear from Andrew, who's PT by background, a published author, ex professional AFL player. So, compared to a real estate agent, don't listen to me compared to Andrew. So, let me introduce our speaker for tonight, Andrew Jobling.
Hello. Thanks, Tal. Man, mate, don't put yourself down just because you're a real estate agent.
I know.
You can know, I'm sure you know a lot more than most. So, hello, everyone. And I'm especially impressed with all the New Zealanders here. It's way past my bedtime. If it was 9:30, it's like you would not get me up trying to do something productive at that time of night. So I'm very impressed with the New Zealanders, and I know there's a few of you. And welcome, everyone. Good to see you all. Looks like we've got a little crowd tonight, but I'm sure it will grow as people, deal with the traffic jam in their corridor as they move and navigate their way from the kitchen to the computer room. But look, I think it looks like for a lot of you, you've heard this stuff before. If there's anyone here for the first time to hear about an amazing program called Healthpointe, then that's good. But for everyone else, this might be a little bit of a refresher for you. It's interesting, isn't it? I don't think there's any new information anywhere about anything. Every time you listen to something, how many times you read a book or listen to something, you go, oh yeah, I know that. I've heard that before. So here's the acid test tonight, because I'm assuming you're going to know everything I'm telling you about. Okay. So I'm going to just make that assumption. The question that I have for every one of you is what are you going to do with it? And look, you might be really healthy, and I hope you are. You might be lean, fit, fabulous, bouncing out of your skin, but what else could you do to be even healthier? If you're struggling with your health, if you're struggling with weight, if you would like more energy, if you've got any challenges, then I really urge you to listen really carefully. And even if you don't jump on and do a cycle of Healthpointe, I would certainly encourage you to do that. But maybe if you just take away one or two things that I say tonight and do something. Is everyone cool with that? Do something. Is everyone? It's a deal. Is that a deal with everyone? Um, Cool. Okay. So yeah, as Tal said, my background, I've got over 30 years, nearly 35 years in health and wellbeing. I was a PT for 15 years, where I used to hurt people. They paid me for it. That was a lot of fun. I got sick of doing that. I got into nutrition, bought a cafe, failed miserably, started writing books. And about 20 years ago, I came across Healthpointe. And, if you ever come across any kind of health program, if you've been in the fitness industry, I don't know, we've got at least one person other than me in this room in the fitness industry. Whenever you come across that program, there's always skepticism. I'm always skeptical. I'm always going, okay, what is the quick fix gimmick that's being sold here? And when I came across Healthpointe, I was delightfully surprised that it was absolutely about long-term well-being. And interestingly, I just published my first book, which was called Eat Chocolate, Drink Alcohol, and Be Lean and Healthy. And that book was very much about building good routines, creating good habits that you could sustain for the rest of your life. And it was not long after that book was published that I came across Healthpointe, and I thought, wow, how aligned is this? So now I'm going to talk about some basic concepts about good health. Okay. I'm also going to talk about the program, and I'm then going to encourage every single human being, do it. If you haven't done it, do it. If you've done it, do it again. And because sometimes, and I think I'm just about ready for a cycle. I think, where you get to that point, you go, yep, I think I need a reset. So that's what tonight's about. We're going to have some fun. Okay. If you're not having fun, let me know, and I'll just put a note in the chat and say, spark it up, Andrew. I want to have some fun. But because if it's not fun, what's the point? Yeah. But here's the deal. There's a condition to fun, because if anyone's ever been unwell, it's not fun, is it? Being lethargic, feeling sick, tired, sore, whatever, is not fun. So the condition to fun is get healthy, because when you're optimally healthy, everything you do can be fun. whether it's cleaning your house, for goodness sake, building your business, going to work, hanging out with your family. It's so much more fun. And I'll share a little testimonial you may have already seen, but this guy who his family was everything, and he wasn't able to spend time with them, and how much more fun he has in his life now that he can. I am optimally healthy. You're going to be. I'm going to focus on language tonight because actually you may not feel it, but you are optimally healthy. You are, because it's got to start in your heart and in your mind before it will ever show in your body. Okay, so I want you to already believe this, and this is going to be my first really important point. I'm going to start with the big stuff. You ready for that? Uh, if you already believe you're optimally healthy, then all you got to do is do the work, and then you will become that. Okay, so before you even, and this is a thing that I've seen when, as a personal trainer, that I have worked with a lot of people that, and I used to believe that being healthy was about what you eat and exercise and getting enough sleep and building good habits and doing the right actions on a consistent basis. Yeah. I think most people would agree that, that's what you got to do. If I'm going to be lean, I've got to exercise, I've got to eat well. But that's actually not it, because of this statement here and this book. If you haven't read it, I really want to encourage you to get this book. It's amazing. But this statement that jumped out at me was, you do what you do because of what you think of you. Now, that being the case, action is not the most important thing, because we know the actions. But if the actions are not aligned to a belief or an identity of who you believe yourself to be, it won't last. And if anyone's started something and given up, started something sabotaged, started something and continually come across hiccups, and it's not just with this isn't everything. This might be in your business, this might be in relationships. uh, if you find yourself continually facing hiccups, I would not look at what should I do now. I'd be looking at, who do I believe myself to be? What is my belief in that area? Because if you can start looking at yourself and go, I am already optimally healthy, and I am someone who will easily stick to a plan, and I feel great, and I'm full of energy. So I really want you, before I get into any action step, because I'll tell you what to do, um, and a personal trainer will tell you what to do, and you can jump online and Google, and it'll tell you what to do. But the what you do bit is only relevant when it's very consistent with what you think of yourself. Does that make sense? Because I mean, I'm started heavy, but I'm just thinking, well, if everything else I say may be irrelevant to you, if your belief is not, oh, I never stick at anything, or I've tried before and I can't do it, or I've got it's my thyroid's the problem, or I can't eat breakfast because I'm not hungry, or I don't like that, or I don't like X, or wow, all the rubbish we say to ourselves. Get your identity right, get your self-talk right, and trust me, the rest of it is a piece of cake. Okay, so let's just meet a couple of people. Here's Mish. Now, Mish had she didn't have a good identity, and as you can see, that as a result of that identity, because she went through a lot of trauma in her life, she felt unhealthy, she felt unworthy. Yeah, that's why she ballooned to 86.6 kilos. But one of the biggest parts of the program that I'm going to talk to you about is not the eating program, which is awesome. Is not the supplementation program, which is awesome. It's not the exercise, which is awesome. It's the mindset. It's the community. It's starting to retrain the thinking, rebuild that identity. So in a very short period of time, that's the result she got. And I mean, that's pretty remarkable over, as you can see there, what, September 11 to December 24. These are 3 months. Which is pretty incredible. This is what she said when I asked her why.
Sorry, the biggest thing for me was this was for me. I wasn't doing it for anyone else. I didn't have anyone else to do it for. And I've had a long journey through trauma and growing to learn to love myself and like myself again. And through that journey, I had tried to lose weight before, but I would lose, then put it on, lose, then put it on. But I think for me, choosing me and choosing my own health was overall my why.
Okay, so she put it out there pretty loud and clear, didn't she? She said the reason before she tried and roller coaster was because she didn't believe and she didn't love herself. And she said the work she's done on herself, you're getting the message on that identity. I'm worthy. I am enough. I can do it. Hence, you saw the results she got. And that was quite a while ago. And we talk quite regularly. And she's sustained that. She's maintained that, which is amazing. Paul, and a lot of you have seen, I've talked about Paul before, but Paul was not loving his life. We talked about having fun. He wasn't having fun. For him to get off the ground in that situation, he said he had to roll over onto his knees and take it slowly to get up off the ground. And it was hard work and it was painful. He said he couldn't play with his kids or his grandkids. He was not having fun. And what he did because of a decision to change, he said, I need to build my health back. And in a 6-month period, he went from 125 to 90. He was taken off medication that he was told he'd be on forever. Now, I'm not here saying that, well, you will get off medication forever. But in his situation, he was off medication forever. And he now has fun.
And so what actually inspired you to come and say something to us?
I think we saw with Secker in the church was doing this with Andrew, and I said, like I didn't know what it was about. I didn't honestly know what about. Didn't do any research. My children had been on my back for probably 20 years. You've got to lose weight, Dad. You've got to lose weight. We want you to be around. I've got 2 grandchildren. But obviously I want to be around for. Couldn't do anything with them. Couldn't run after them. Couldn't chase them. Couldn't play cricket with them. Can't play soccer. Couldn't do any of that. And so I think that was in my mind. I wanted to spend time with them. I wanted to enjoy myself with them. I've got a fantastic relationship as a family.
Okay, so you've seen 2 case studies, and there's a common theme with both of them. And firstly is this why? And I think again, the identity is a big piece. We do what we do because of you do what you do because of what you think of you. But if you don't have a strong reason, you're not even going to get started in the first place. So the first step is why. And I guess wherever you're at right now, and you're here tonight, and again, you New Zealanders, you're awesome. It's getting towards 9:45 in the evening. Why are you here? Why are you listening to this again? What would move you to start making a change? Even if you feel like your health is okay or it's good, what would move you to make it amazing? What would move you to make it even better than it is? Would it be setting an example for your family, like Paul? For him, he wanted to be able to play with his grandkids, and you could see him getting emotional when he started talking about his grandkids. When I first spoke to him and he started tearing up, I knew he'd do this. I knew it because it was strong enough. It was important enough. So write down something right now in front of you. One word. Why? Is it family? Is it career? Is you want joy, more joy in your life? You want abundance in your life? What's the reason why optimal health is well-being? Because you know that well-being is not a pillar in life. It's a foundation on which everything you love and is important to you stands. It is the foundation. So it should never be a choice. It should never be, oh, will I or won't I? It should be, let's go. So why? Identity. They're the first 2 important pieces. If you don't have those 2, you're not going to get very far. Okay. And if you've ever started something and given up really quickly, it was either one or both of those things were lacking. You get those 2 right, trust me, you're on fire. The next step is finding the community, and if you've been invited here, you'll find out very quickly that this is a powerfully supportive community of like-minded people and people that want to be optimally healthy and want to live their best life. And there's something about associating with those kind of people that is incredibly inspiring. Get a coach, someone who's been there, done it before, someone to be accountable to. So you notice I've said nothing about food, nothing about exercise. If you think about those first 4 steps, they're very much around our mindset, and that is everything. Network 21 is if you don't know or never heard of Network 21, Network 21 is an organization that focuses on personal professional development. Network 21 owns the Healthpointe program. It's an education program. It's owned by Network 21. If you've never heard of Amway before, Amway is an incredible company that provides and supplies organically grown vitamins and supplements and high quality nutrition and air and water purification. I'll talk more about that. And then Healthpointe. Healthpointe's the end of the process, because if you get all those things in place, trust me, you will get results with Healthpointe. You've just got to do the right foundational stuff. So let's quickly talk about Healthpointe, then I'll dive in a bit deeper. So Healthpointe is a program that's been around 20 years. It's actually been around 40 to 50 years, but it's been owned by it's probably getting close to 30 years now that Network 21 has owned it, and it's doing amazing things. I mean, there's people on this call already know and have had results and have helped dozens and dozens of people, because this is why it's mindset. It's not an eating program. It's not an exercise program. It's a mindset. Learn about how you think, and how you think affects every decision you make, and how the mind and body works, and how it interacts with the body, all that kind of stuff. The community I've spoken about. It's definitely not a diet. I'm going to go through this in more detail. That's why I'm skipping through this pretty quickly. You get to eat real food. When I look at this for the first time, we're thinking, okay, where's the the meal replacement shakes and the stuff? And no, it was all about eating real food, and plenty of it, and it's focused on cellular health. So let's talk about cellular health, because you are cells. That's all you are. Now, you're a beautiful bunch of cells, that's for sure. They've been put together just like sculpted gorgeously. Gorgeously, I've just made up a word. But we are trillions of cells. That's all we are. That's what our body is. And our health is based on the based on the health of our cells. It's the unit of our life. And if we look after our cellular health, then we are healthy. Guess what affects our cells? Our mindset, our community, our the focus that we have, the emotions that go through our body, the foods that we eat, the exercise that we do. Everything has an effect on your cellular health. So let's have a look at, that was a complicated view. Here's the kindergarten view of a cell, just so you understand how this works. There's a nucleus. That's where that's like the DNA. That's the sort of the brain of the cell. Often it's been thought that your DNA is set. So if you're predisposed to a certain body type or disease, too bad, can't do anything about it. Well, now the neuroscience is showing that you actually can change your DNA with thinking, thoughts, actions, association, environment. You can change your DNA. You can lengthen your life. You can lengthen the DNA strands, which is pretty exciting stuff to think about, that you can change your DNA. I love that. The mitochondria is where all the energy is created, engine room of the cell, basically. That's where you can burn fat. That's where you produce energy. That's where it builds immunity, all in the mitochondria. And it's interesting that probably the most important part is the membrane, because if you don't have a healthy membrane, then your DNA and your mitochondria are they're going to become malnourished, because you're not going to be able to get nutrients absorbed across. In a healthy cell, which is, as you can see, 75% fat, it's got to be healthy fat, because if it's the wrong type of fat, too much processed food, too much carbohydrate, and breads, rice, pastas, that kind of stuff, or anything processed or packaged, the fat is a fat that actually hardens the cell membrane, which means it's not going to allow the nutrients to come in, and it's not going to allow the waste products to come out. So can you see how important every aspect of our life is? Your thinking, your association, your mindset will affect your DNA. The air you breathe, the water you drink will affect your DNA. The foods you eat will affect your mitochondria and the energy that's produced, and the fats you consume will affect your cell membrane. So everything I'm about to talk about in terms of Healthpointe is focused on a healthy cell. And as a result of a healthy cell, you'll have a healthy you. Okay, so let's have a look at the program. It's a 6-week program. Once you start, before you start, you do 3 to 7 prep days. I'm going to recommend 7 days, and I'll talk through the prep days shortly. You do 3 jumpstart days. They're effectively, well, they're protein days. So that's where you remove carbs so that your body starts burning fat, which is awesome, because you want your body burning fat. Then for the next 25 days, you're now in this I guess if you're losing weight, this is not a weight loss program, but if you are losing weight, that's where it's going to happen. Primarily, you're now learning how to eat the right type of carbohydrates, the right combination of foods, creating good habits in this period. And then the last 14 days is almost, and also, and I think every segment of this is important, but for long-term results, the stabilization phase is critical. You gradually add more food, and what that does is it resets you at that new point, that new weight or health level. It keeps you there. If you miss the 14 days, often, and I've found a lot of people go, oh, I don't want to do the 14 days, I want to keep losing weight, they put it back on. The people that go, okay, well, I'm ready now, I'm comfortable now just to focus on stabilizing, they keep it off, and then they can go back and do another, you can go back and do another cycle, or you can go into maintenance. Okay, so let's dive into each little section. So preparation day, the key part is detoxing your mind. For most people, you've got to unlearn. Most people's mindset around whether it's weight loss or health is eat less, move more, starve yourself. No, don't eat any carbohydrates. There's so much misinformation and so much rubbish out there that it's important that you get the right information. So that happens through meeting the group, meeting the community, chatting, listening, getting the Healthpointe app on your phone, listening to the Network 21 material over a 7-day period, sitting with your coach, setting some goals, getting your questions answered, and getting yourself totally prepared in every way, mentally, physically, emotionally, to get started. Because if you try and fast track the prep days, that's going to be an issue. Because I think even in this 7 days, this is where you start looking at that identity piece. I am someone who will sees things through. I am a optimally healthy, energized human being. You start building that identity in that 7 days, and trust me, you're more likely to get yourself through it. And that's the whole idea of the preparation stage, is to make sure you fly through this whole program. So first 3 days, some people love it. Some people just do it because they have to. Some people love protein only for 3 days. Why only 3? Because some people go, well, if I'm losing weight, I want to do more than 3 days. No, because what happens is, if I just quickly give you the science here. So your body has 3 energy sources, or places where you can get energy. Number 1 is carbohydrate. That's your preferred source. Fat is your second source, and protein is your third source. So obviously, if you're eating lots of carbs, that's where your body's getting its energy from. So by simply removing carbohydrates for 3 days, your body goes, ooh, no carbs, better start tapping into the fat store, which is what you want. But if you go beyond the 3 days and your body starts to feel like you're in starvation mode, it'll start storing that fat and now starting to break down your proteins in your body, your muscles in your body. And that's not what you want at all. And we're talking about optimal health here. I'm not just talking about losing weight. Okay, I'm talking about optimal well-being. So, yeah. So that's what your jumpstart days are. So protein. So I hope you like eggs. There's lots of different sources of protein. The idea is you're snacking every 60 to 90 minutes. Yes, that sounds like a lot. 60 to 90 minutes having, eggs, fish, meat, whatever your protein source is that you enjoy. You just keep doing it throughout the day. There's lots and lots of different sources of protein. This works whether you're vegetarian. It works if you're a vegan. I know we've got one vegan on this call tonight, and it's worked for her, and it's worked for lots of people that don't eat meat or animal products. The protein bars are awesome. So there's lots and lots of options to get yourself burning fat, and then keep burning it. Okay. The reason why you snack regularly, and this is again for a lot of people that have been taught 3 meals a day, and then some people skip breakfast, so they maybe eat 2 meals a day. In fact, Michelle, who you heard from right at the beginning, when she started the program and she was following it properly, she was a little bit bamboozled because she was losing a lot of weight quite quickly. Even in the first week, she'd lost 2 or 3 kilos, and she said to me, Andrew, I don't get it. I said, what do you mean, Michelle? She said, I'm actually eating more food in 1 day than I was eating in 3 days previously. So she's now eating 3 times as much food and weight's falling off her. That's metabolism. That's your metabolic fire. That's when you eat the right food at the right time of the day, you will burn, because it's like putting fuel on a fire. And if you're going to keep a fire burning, you put fuel on it, good quality fuel on it regularly. You don't wait 4, 5, 6 hours because it's gone out by then. And that's what so many people do. Their fire goes out and then they try and get it started again. My gosh, that's hard. Isn't it hard to get yourself going again when you're really, really tired? So by putting small amounts of food on regularly, even when you, okay, listen to me, even when you're not hungry, have a snack, eat something, keep the metabolic fire burning, and you'll find that you've got more energy, you're more focused, you're burning fat, you're feeling fantastic. Okay, so the next stage is where you now start incorporating, same process, you're still eating every 60 to 90 minutes, but now you're incorporating some veggies and some fruits and some salads and that kind of stuff. So as you can see, some examples there. Your protein snacks still in between, but your breakfast, lunch, and dinner is very structured in the program. It's very simple to follow in terms of how much you eat, and I'll share with you right now. But you know, this is again one of the greatest challenges for people when they, well, not even when people diet, but when they just live their normal life and they're running from one thing to another and they forget to eat and they eat the wrong kind of foods. That's what happens to metabolism, right? It just drops because if you're not feeding yourself, your fire goes out. On a Healthpointe, that's what's going on. Now you want a fired up metabolism because when your metabolism drops, when your blood sugars drop, then you feel tired, okay? When you combine, and this is what the program teaches, how to combine your fruits, your veggies, some lettuce, your protein in a meal, what that does, that combination gives you the most sustainable energy over 1 to 2 hours. If you were to eat those food sources individually, it'd be a very different result, but combine them together and you get this sustained 1 to 2 hours of sustained energy, which is awesome. So it means your blood sugar levels are steady rather than the roller coaster that so many people go on. When they're tired, they crave, they eat sugar, it goes up, then it drops, and we all know we've been there before. So after 4 weeks of doing this properly, you'll get amazing results. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you will get. I'm not going to say like Paul or Michelle, you'll get results. I'm not going to make any promises, but I will promise this. If you follow that first 4 weeks properly, you will feel amazing. You will feel better. And I know people will attest. And when I finish, I might just get a couple of people just to maybe share how they feel on Healthpointe if there's time at the end of this. But you know, you trust me, follow it properly and you'll get incredible results. Then get to the last 14 days and you add more food. Yes, you read that correctly. You're adding more food. Now, again, for a lot of people, they're already probably eating more food than they're used to. And now it's like, add more food. What are you talking about? Add more food. The idea of it gradually adding more food over 2 weeks means that you lock in the results you got for the first 4 weeks. Locked in. Okay, so it's no longer the roller coaster, no longer put it on, take it off, put it on. This is the best way. It might take a little bit longer, but my gosh, do this cycle a couple of times and you will get exactly where you want to be. Right, so that's the outline of the program. Now let's talk about a few other considerations here. First thing is supplementation. Why? That's the question a lot of people ask, although I don't think as many people ask that anymore. I think we all know we need to supplement, and the reality is that we're just not getting it. We're not getting it. This statistic states that only 5.1% of Australian adults have an adequate usual daily intake of fruit and veggies. Now that's adequate. So that's 95% of people don't have enough serves, but that's not really the key question. The question I would be asking is, well, how much nutrients do these fruits and veggies actually have? So even that 5.1% of Australian adults are still probably nutrient deficient because the fruits and veggies are nutrient deficient. So therefore, there's very few of us without supplementing will get everything we need. So let's talk now about, I'm just going to play this video which will introduce the program, the supplements that we use and why.
Imagine a world where plants have fingerprints, and where a group of scientists have fingerprinted over 1,300 of the world's botanicals to discover their health benefits, and where every seed is given a unique birth certificate to track its life from seed to supplement. Imagine a group of scientists who search the globe for the best farms on every continent, except Antarctica. Imagine a farm where nature is used to help nature, and where natural pest control is the job of falcons, like copper, and where farmers understand their plants so well that they know the precise moment to harvest to optimize their nutrients. Imagine a supplement company that uses every part of every plant, extracting essential phytonutrients for your benefit, and using the rest of the plant to revitalize the soil on its farms. Imagine a team of engineers so obsessed with product excellence that they run more than 500,000 quality checks a year on their supplements. Or a team of packaging engineers who run more than 30,000 tests in extreme conditions to ensure that your supplements will remain pure, safe, and effective from our door to yours. Imagine a life colored with the power of phytonutrients, nurtured every step of the way. Because at Nutrilite, we believe to get truly traceable supplements, you need to go behind the label. These are the real people that bring to life a world you don't have to imagine. This is the real world of Nutrilite traceability.
All right. I don't need to say too much more. I mean, I guess the only thing I'll say is that I'm 60 years old and I've been taking these supplements for 20 years, and I'm so grateful, absolutely grateful. I mean, there's, in this world at the moment, there's so much sickness, and it was the great Dr. Patty Reynolds said, wouldn't it be a tragedy if just for the sake of taking a few supplements, you might prevent some kind of disease? And I think what a wonderful attitude. Why not? What do you got to lose? As you can see from this image, you can see these tablets are plants that have been compressed into a tablet form. They're real plants. They're organically grown plants. So on the program, if you said to me or asked me, Andrew, what should I take? Okay, this is what I'd say to you. You need a multivitamin for sure, because we've all got gaps. Now, whether you go with double X, which I would recommend, or you go with daily, either are multivitamins, both are great quality. The double X is a bit more potent, okay? More nutrients by far. So I definitely would recommend that's an essential and non-negotiable. The omega-3s are non-negotiable. And for vegans, vegetarians, some form of omega-3 is critically important to reduce inflammation, to keep your cell membrane healthy. It helps with weight loss and brain health. I mean, read up on omega-3, critically important. You can't survive without it. Concentrated fruit and vegetables, 2 tablets a day is equivalent to 10 serves of organic fruit and veggies. Amazing, amazing, amazing product. Probiotic is critical for our gut health, and so many things are affecting our gut bacteria. So to take one little sachet that a day, you can see it's got some ridiculous number of billions of colony forming units. I think that's what they call them, CFU, colony forming units, healthy bacteria. The fiber is this is a new product on the that Amway have now put on their menu of options, and it's awesome. So fiber is critically important for particularly during the protein days, because you need to be pooping. Pooping is very important, so the fiber is critical. Rhodiola for regulating cortisol, and cortisol is more and more an issue these days because of stress. So it helps with fat loss, fat around your stomach, helps with energy levels, helps with focus. Could go on and on forever. The CoQ10 enzyme is a great antioxidant, good for heart health, good for energy, cellular energy. And look, there's so many more products that I could talk about, and I just don't have time. The person who invited you, we can go into more detail about the products and how amazing they are. This is just one little visual just to show you the difference. So this is called a chromatograph, and what you see, those spikes are phytonutrient activity in the supplements. So in addition to the the nutrients, these are the phytonutrients. Have a look at the difference. You take double X versus, and not bad mouthing other brands. This is fact here. This is fact versus Blackmore's. That's versus Swiss. That's versus Centrum. I'm not going to stop taking double X. Don't know about you. The protein. Finding protein snacks can be painful. I mean, I don't know if anyone wants to carry a fish around in their handbag, or a block of cheese or eggs. It's not that easy. So there's lots and lots of ways if you're out and about to make sure you're getting your protein snacks. Positron is awesome. Access to an amazing range of protein bars. Again, find out about them. The person invited you will talk to you about what you can do with the protein powders. You can make your own protein balls. You can mix it into your yogurt, into your cereal, into make smoothies, make protein shakes. There's so much you can do. The muscle multiply is awesome in terms of all the essential amino acids to make sure that your body can do what it needs to do and you can do what you need to do. There's an amazing talk, or actually a couple of talks and panel talks by Jamie Allison and some other people, and I would recommend you listen to them to really understand why protein and amino acids are so important. Okay, we're nearly there, guys. You're doing good. All right. Purify your air and water. eSpring is the water purifier, and exciting news very, very shortly. Amway are releasing a new eSpring, which is going to be very exciting. Water we drink is full of stuff, chemicals, chlorine, and that's not doing you any good. That's that's my filter that's been replaced, and every single time I take my filter out and change a filter, that's what it looks like. And I'll tell you what, I would rather have that gunk in the filter than my kidneys. So you buy a filter or you be a filter. And the air purifier, while again, you breathe 24/7. What's in the air you're breathing, particularly in your bedroom? Do you know what's in it? Do you know what it's doing when you breathe it into your lungs? Do you know what's happening in your body? Have a think about these things, because these are very easy things to do. You purify your water, bang, it's purified. Turn it on your air purifier, your air's purified. You don't have to think about that anymore. You just have to switch it on, for goodness sake. Once you've finished a cycle, you can then go into your maintenance phase, which the person that invited you will talk to you more about, or you can go back. Michelle did a couple of cycles, Paul did a couple of cycles, and once you've done 2 or 3 cycles, this becomes lifestyle. This pretty much becomes the way you do things. And once you've created the routine and the rhythm of how you do things, again, remember that identity. This is who I am. I am a healthy, happy, vibrant, energized person. Once you've done the cycle a couple of times and you can stay connected to the community, you stay listening to the Network 21 audios, you keep yourself in that space, it doesn't take long before you have created a new you. Remember, you do what you do because of what you think of you. From an exercise point of view, we start with steps. You can certainly add some resistance training. You can add stuff, but depending on where you're at, just start with 10,000 steps a day. Start learning today. You can download the N21 app and the Healthpointe app today, tonight. Someone can help you do that, or they can send you some stuff to listen to. Start learning, for goodness sake, because it's all about mindset. Jules, he got great results. I won't play the video, but he's done amazing, got amazing results. And you can do it. And I think, I always end every talk I do, every single talk. I did another talk today to a group of people, and I always end on this slide because I don't think we really, we truly believe or understand the value we have and the impact we have on lives. Often we do things or say things that we think affect no one but ourselves. But trust me, they do. They affect you. They affect you, and they affect other people. People are watching and being inspired by the things you do. You have a really powerful impact on lives. Okay, so next steps: get back with the person who invited you tonight. Number 2, start, have a crack at the program. Number 3, get learning. Start with your Network 21 and get to work on living your very, very best life. Oh, good, people are still here. Hello. It's always
Hello, hello.
Well, there's always a little bit of potluck. So what I would like to do, and I think we've got a minute or 2 here, I'd love to just, hear anyone that wants to share just a really quick little impact on if you've done Healthpointe, other than weight loss, okay? Because I don't want to hear about weight loss, because weight loss is a consequence of optimal well-being. What are some benefits you've got? Anyone want to just quickly share?
Yeah, Angie, if you don't mind, I would love to
I
share.
knew you would, Rob. I knew I could count on you, mate.
Well, you said nothing to do with weight loss. Yeah, look, I did this program about 10 years ago to actually prove that I don't need it, because I thought I could eat and drink and train as hard as I want and be healthy. But my God, it proved me wrong. I'm grateful that Kruger told me to get my blood tested properly, and the results were shocking. So I did the program. My metabolic age was at 85, and my visual fat was at 20.
Yeah.
I did 3 cycles with my wife. I got my metabolic age down to 13, and my visual fat is to 1. Ask your coach what visual fat means. It's fat around your organs, but they can give you some more explanation. I was so impressed and shocked how unhealthy I was, and how the doctors and the outside world was misleading information, saying as long as you train as hard as you want, you can eat what you want. But I was so impressed with the program, how much it helped me and my wife with our health. We started paying it forward to other people, and we've expanded it internationally now, worldwide. And the lives, I just had a lady message my wife yesterday saying that she went and got a health check with the doctor, and she's no longer diabetic.
That's awesome, mate. That's so
And the
good.
doctor's asking, who helped you? I want to meet that person. She's never seen
Okay.
anyone improve their health. So that's just a quick version of it. I'd love to share more about it, but that's it for me. Thanks, Andrew.
That's awesome, mate. Thanks, mate. And it's so true, isn't it? We look at ourselves and we go, oh, yeah, I'm okay. I look okay. But you have no idea what is happening inside. And that's why just focusing on weight loss is not the right thing to do. Focus on optimal well-being, focus on your mindset. And inside, well, you do the right things, inside will take care of itself. Is there one more person that would like to share something before we wrap it up?
Andrew, I will.
Yes. Good. Oh, awesome.
I just want to speak from a more mature person's point of view. You know, I made a decision years ago that I didn't want to become, can I say, decrepit, and blessed beyond belief getting on to Healthpointe and what you've just discussed, the health program. Honestly, for me, I'm old enough to be all of your grandmothers, and I play sport because I'm really fighting fit. 85 this year. I don't mind sharing because it's an example for people to be able to, do all that. It's most people think because they're not sick that they're well. I discovered that's not true. You've got to find out what's really going on, and Healthpointe just seems to be taking you to another level. Everyone that I've helped has gotten rid of some, tablets or issues, and it just happens because you get cellular health, and that's the secret, isn't it? As you mentioned in the beginning. Thank you.
Yeah, Ingrid, thank you so much. And Rob, thank you for sharing. These guys weren't organized. That was very spontaneous. So I'm grateful that you've shared. You know what? As I just wrap up, I just want to remind all of us that we only get one shot here. We only get one shot. And I see there's so much sickness around at the moment. And so
Yeah.
many people that are struggling, so many people that are lethargic, so many people that are just not loving life. Please, every one of us, and you have people in your lives that you love and care about, talk to them. Just get them on some products, even get them on Double X, just get them on something, get them eating breakfast, even if it's not the whole program. Start with you, be the inspiration, be the example, live your best life, and watch the ripple effect as that starts. As Rob said, he's now global, as I know Ingrid is global, wow. Anyway, I'll stop talking now. I could talk about this all night, and I don't want to take any more of your time, but thanks for being here. And I know you're all amazing, every one of you. You're worth being optimally healthy, and you've got so many things to do and lives to change. So go forth and do it. Have a good night, everyone.